welcome to today's live with the topic of people pleasing. So I used to believe that I used to be a people pleaser, and I used to believe that what happens outside of me is the only truth and I cannot change it. I just have to accept it as it is and go on. So what's happening outside of me, I have no influence over, and those are just things occurring. Okay, it happens by coincidence and everything happens randomly. And I just have to push through, and when it's harder, then just keep going and keep going when it's hard or even harder and life is hard and all these beliefs. And I also believe I wasn't special and that you are defined by situations that happen to you, and you cannot, for example, be successful if you aren't born successful. So I used to believe that what happened to me defines me. I used to be very defined what has happened to me in my childhood or the way I was growing up. And with the programs I received from education and the people around me, I just was accepting the way things were, and that is just my case, and that's how I am. And there are certain things that I can achieve, and there are certain things that I can't achieve. And for example, being successful, I thought that's for other people, and it's unachievable for me. And also with migraines, with chronic pain, since I was growing up with migraines and I was growing up with chronic pain, I used to believe that that's just the way it is. It's part of my life. I can't change that because it's a part of who I am. I was very defined by it, and it's something occurring to me, and that I don't have any influence over it, or I can't change it, and it just happens randomly and things like that. So those are things I used to live in. That was my reality, and obviously the reality reflected this way. That was what I used to believe until it got really painful, and through a really, really painful, hard learning path, I understood, let's say on a low point, in seconds, that things are very, very different. I understood that everything is quite opposite to what I used to believe. And most importantly, what has become an anchor for me, I have learned and I have understood that things in its core are neutral. This is always something that helps me get back. That helps me get back to myself and helps me especially step away from, let's say, dramatic situations or anything occurring outside, because what we have, a great ability that we have developed, is we take what happens, the doing, the occurrence of doing, we take it very seriously and very personally, and we define ourselves by what is happening in our lives, to us, around us, to us within our bodies, to us within our minds. And we believe that that is our defining element and that we cannot change it. But from a perspective of everything in its core is neutral, and everything has both sides, both polarities, the positive and negative one. There is no single aspect of life that doesn't have either of those, that doesn't have a positive or a negative aspect. That's the way that things are, and you can think about it and try yourself, but always the more we try to see just the one side, there will always be a neutral core. So there, everything connects. That's the zero. That's the starting point. That's why you can recover from things. That's why you can come back. That's why you can stand up and continue going. That's why when you fall, you can start over. That's why when you make a mistake, you can go back and apologize, or you can continue going, because in the core, everything is neutral. So this has become a understanding anchor. I have experienced a level of neutrality, because until then I used to believe that what I do then reflects on how I live my life. But what I was doing was forcing or using my force outside, using my energy on the outside, but not nurturing myself, and I was neglecting myself. I have learned to believe by series of patterns that I don't matter, and what matters is the people around me, and then I have to keep saving them, that I have to be here for people, I have to do as people say, as my parents say, as everyone says, because good girls and good boys, as we learned, as we've been programmed to, that's how we act, that's what we do. Obviously, this then over time is a lie, and it manifests as some imbalance, some uncomfortableness. In my case, it was chronic pain and migraines. But it took me this low point, this understanding from where I could bounce up and start healing myself and start being there for myself and start realizing that it can be a different way, and it's very different to what I believed. Okay, so the truth, the universal truth, is we can impact everything in our lives. We can do it from within, from working with our mindset. You can always change what you believe. You can change the thought you believe, your limiting beliefs, and your body and your energy. Belief is not a religion, okay? Belief is a series, is your database of thoughts. That's the database you have in your mind. Sorry, my nose is a bit itchy. I'm going to drink some water. First summer day in England. It got quite hot here today. We're on the roof here, so it's quite warm. So the truth is you can impact everything in your life, and you can impact it by working with your mindset, your limiting beliefs, your body, and your energy. So understanding your mindset, your beliefs, understanding what's the database right now, what is in your head, what you believe about yourself, what you believe what's possible about yourself, what you believe your body can do, even how flexible. Okay, recently I had a moment where I did my first headstand without a wall. I usually do it like the 3-point headstand in yoga. And I know over the time I work with yoga and with my mindset and with my body, I know that it took, practicing it over the wall, but then it took also like a build up of mind programs where I was confident enough to feel, now I can do it. Now I can do the headstand on my own. Because this all, as we talked about this yesterday, and often I talk about this, that everything is a skill basically. You can learn everything. You can learn to be confident, you learn to be shy, you learn to be extrovert, introvert. These are all skills. They're not predefined. Nothing is predefined. Okay, you're like a blank. Of course, you have had programs even from past lives, from this life, from the people around you, what's around you. There's some information, but your task always is to gather available information, to take it all in, but then select what is here for you. And specifically, as I talked about this in Human Design Live, which is saved on my profile, check out the Human Design for understanding that, for example, as me, if you have open center in the head, then you're receiving all the information. Usually you could be very good at remembering things because your head is open and it just all sinks in. All the quantity of the information is coming in, but you then need to consciously do the selection of what you want to keep and what you want to let go. We're talking about information, beliefs, because we soak in as a sponge. You're soaking in so much information, but you must learn how to work with that information. You must learn how to choose what is relevant for you and what is not. Okay? Because if we are in the mode of people pleasing, and if we are on the opposite side, where we believe that what we think doesn't matter, what we do doesn't matter, what we say doesn't matter, who we are doesn't matter, if we're in this mode, then obviously we are just wasting our energy on trying to heal someone else. But you can never heal someone else. You can never save someone else. If you want to guide, you can only guide someone else by leaving hints, or just by being who you are, just doing the steps for you, achieving for yourself, developing yourself, healing yourself. And this, when you direct the energy towards your development, towards your healing, towards your improvement, not saying you need improvement, but talking about reprogramming the way we have worked in painful patterns, in pain coping mechanisms, okay, mechanisms of chronic pain, towards mechanisms of trust, relief, and creating that space where you can trust life. But you are creating it step by step by the decisions you're making. And through this, then you can inspire others to transform, because that energy is contagious and that just spreads. And those are the changes that occur, that someone has to leave from your reality or be further away. Someone on the opposite comes way closer and is there for you and is growing with you. Okay, so always in this transformation from being people pleaser to understanding that in the core everything is neutral, and if you don't heal yourself, your reality won't heal. If you don't heal your approach, your reaction to situations, then others will be just mirroring what you need to work on. For example, if you feel like drained by others, that you're giving to others, then it means probably you're not giving to yourself, and others are just taking. So you are actually mirroring what you're doing to yourself. If you feel drained out, if you feel like you have to be at 100 places at the same time, if you feel overwhelmed, you don't need to be overwhelmed in life. You can learn how to not be overwhelmed. Always the situation around you, whatever is occurring in your reality, is mirroring what's inside you. Okay, so if you are using your energy in the wrong way, exactly in the wrong direction, it's pretty simple. You are wasting it, therefore you feel like others are pulling it away. But you are the one. No one can take your energy. No one can drain you with energy. That's the way you are doing it. That's the way you are using your energy, which is great, because this way, with this understanding that it's your energy you're using and you're giving it, you're draining yourself from the energy, then since it's you doing it, you can change this. And you need to direct that energy towards healing what's inside, your old wounds, your scars, your traumas. You direct it towards the inside. And then you will no longer need people pleasing, because once you please yourself, you start pleasing yourself, satisfying of your needs, working with your mindset, being aware of what thoughts are in your mind, being aware of what your body needs, what it's feeling. Okay, being aware, yeah, it's here. Those feelings are here. They're here for me. Once you become aware and heal the whole package, then the reality changes. It changes already during the process, okay? It changes all the time, actually. But you mustn't be expecting from someone that if you do something for them, then it will have that effect. Okay? You can only do something for others when it's aligned with you. When it's aligned that you give with love, you give a lot of yourself, you give your attention, your care, your love, but it's not in expectance of anything in return, because in that way it wouldn't be neutral. With the expectation, you are breaking the polarity basically, and you are taking away from yourself. You're expecting someone to fill the bottle, the capacity of your energy, which you are the only one that can fill it. Okay? So, yeah, so the truth is we create our experiences and we can choose to do so at any moment. Truth is we are our only healer and we are the only ones that can come to save ourselves. And maybe we have learned to believe that there is someone or something from the outside coming to save us, but that will never work truly and long term. That will never happen. If you're waiting, then you're waiting. If you're searching, then you're searching. That's what's going to manifest. If you realize you are healed, for example, you're healing, that's what is going to be happening. You're healing yourself. You are restoring your energy. You are receiving. Okay, that's what you're going to be. If every day you're receiving in that mindset, you're in the receiving mindset, receiving more and more of yourself, more of life, receiving things how they are, not accepting, not letting them drain you, drown you, and drag you along, but receiving in a healthy way, the way it will be aligned with you, the way it makes you feel good, that the way it is syncing, vibing. Okay? And maybe we have learned, that someone will. And that always ends in adding layers to the problems. As long as we believe someone from the outside, some element, something from the outside will come to solve that problem for us, heal that situation, change that, okay? Then we are only adding layers to the problem and it's manifesting inside us. The more we are closing the energy inside us, okay? Like pain is closed energy. But what we want to do is be taking off those layers and learning, okay? Because if you have been a people pleaser, then that's where you were. That's the way you worked. So be very kind to yourself in the beginning. That's the way you have learned to cope. Okay, and it has created maybe unhealthy relationships around you. So probably there will be in the beginning some resistance. But learning this long term will bring you that energy back. That energy that you have long term been draining yourself away. Okay, you've been draining it out. You've been directing it in the wrong way. Then it can really help to heal you again. It can put you back together. It brings life back to your life. It brings energy and joy and all of these maybe you have believed you are not allowed to feel, you're not privileged enough to feel, you don't matter enough to feel all the joys of life. But you are. It's only your decision on where you will direct your energy. And and it's about the importance to realize that we create what happens around us. We influence what we see. We create our reality and what we see in the world. If we see the world as healthy, safe place, as a healthy, safe place that is doing everything for becoming healed, that's how it's going to become. Or as a sad, sick, dangerous place that is going down, That's how it's gonna become. So yeah, this is a good layer. Important. It's important to realize how you see the world and that you can change this. Okay, so the way you see the world, the way you create this image of the world, of what you believe and what you want to see, what you choose to see, it will always have the two polarities, but then you are choosing between them too. Okay, so in the core, what's happening in the world is neutral. This must be an anchor for you, and this must be, let's say, an anchor in believing that you're doing great. Everything is great. This is the starting point for change. Seeing the neutrality of things. You're not here to save the world. You're not here to save other people. You're just not. You're here to be. You're here to be neutral. And I'm not saying do nothing, but do in alignment with your being. And the two polarities is how you see the world. You can see it in a positive way. The world is great, it's safe, it's abundant, there's enough opportunities for everyone. We have created our money, it's limitless, there's enough money for everyone. There's enough care for everyone, there's enough love for everyone. You can choose to see the world from this perspective, that you are the source of love because you are the source of everything you need in your life. So you can choose this perspective, or you can choose the perspective of how sad the world is, how incorrect, how not fair, how dangerous the place is, how dangerous are people, and how everything is deteriorating, nothing is getting better. Okay, and you can see that, but you will be manifesting this around you. This is the energy you will be multiplying around yourself. If you believe in how horrible things are, then probably there will be horrible things occurring, because we always, through our mind, we create what we believe. Okay, so if you believe that horrible things happen every day, for example, that might be your affirmation in your mind, that might be one of your thoughts, then every day you're gonna be supporting yourself with this belief and this lie. It's one thing after another, it's this and then it gets worse, it's going down. But probably with that, your energy and your desire for life and your joy of life, that will be going in that deteriorating pattern. Or you will be believing everything's getting more expensive and more hard to understand. You can keep going, so you're going down into the negative polarity, or you can choose to go up into the yes, everything is here for me. I always receive the right information. I always connect with amazing people. I always receive new clients. I have an abundance of clients. There are clients waiting to collaborate with me. There are people waiting to talk with me and hear what I have to say. What I say matters, and something good happens to me. Every day is a beautiful day, and it's one of the best days of my life. And everything that is happening at all times, it's preparing me for something better. Okay, I always am getting ahead. I always am learning enough of new things. I am always seeing the bigger picture. I am surrounded by abundance. Every day I receive abundance. Every day I receive more of myself. Okay, so this is the point of view we choose. And actually it will never be depending on the others outside. So whenever you are trying to do something for someone, it will always be wasting your energy if it's going in the intention, yesterday we talked about intention, of expecting something in return. I'll do this so that you do this for me. Never gonna work. I give selflessly and I give to myself selflessly. I take the same care of myself as I would take of others. I talk nicely to myself. I value, appreciate myself the same way I value and appreciate others, the same way I talk to others. I'm aware of what I say. I'm aware of what I say to myself, and I'm aware of how I talk. And this will then transform into being able to talk in a nice way to those you thought you're never going to be able to talk to in a nice way. Being able to view them as their own responsible entities that can make their own decisions, that have enough time to make their own mistakes. It's allowing others to go through experiences. We can see this a lot with children also. It can be hard to observe and allow others to experience mistakes, experience something painful. Okay, but your task is being there for yourself and being there for others. That's the attention is actually the biggest thing you can give someone. But whenever we are pleasing, trying to do, then we are intervening actually with the flow of life. Not only we are taking away the experience from that person, but also we're draining our energy because we're putting it in a place where it doesn't belong. For example, if you, I love this example with socks that I don't know where it came from actually, but I use this example with socks that usually in partnerships there's a situation with socks. One person keeps leaving socks around, but the other person, until the other person keeps picking up those socks, then that person, number one, can't even see those socks. Whenever this person comes back, the socks aren't there anymore. So the person, number one, doesn't have a chance to learn how to pick up the socks and how to clean those socks, because person number two comes around and is picking the socks, probably building a frustration in themselves also, okay, and expecting. If that person number two is picking up socks selflessly and okay, and has accepted, yes, I'll be picking up socks my whole life and I'm okay with that, or second option, I will leave those socks and I'm okay with that, then I give the person number one possibility to pick up those socks and experience what it is like to pick up the socks or do something with them. And this can be about everything in your life, okay? But as long the people pleasing is actually you're taking away the opportunity of others to become independent, to step into their own power, to make their own decisions. That's what you're doing with people pleasing. Okay, we always feel like we have to be doing it for them. Like we have to be taking that extra care of them. We have to be taking that responsibility because of something usually in the past. But past is in the past. What is now is important. Now you decide how you're going to approach that relationship. Where are you taking over the responsibility over others? Then it drains you, then you get a migraine, then it accumulates pain. Because you're supporting this lie. Okay, you are stepping into a responsibility that is someone else's. You are picking up their socks and you're not allowing them to experience the flow. At the same time, you're not allowing yourself to be at flow, to be at trust. You don't trust life. You're not allowing yourself to receive accordingly. Right. Well, that was great. I think we did it swiftly with some good examples. If you have any questions, any more questions, you can DM me. And thank you for being here. and I'll see you in the next live tomorrow.